We have two boys. Our oldest son, Ben, is 14, and our younger son, Hudson, is 10. We're a pretty active family. We play pickleball, we like to hike, we love to be outside. Both of our boys are saber fencers. We noticed very young he had an ear for music. He's played the violin pretty much all of his life since he was 3.
Ben is a man for all seasons. Not only does he like all those athletic things and he likes music, but just has a thirst for knowledge. So he's everything you'd want in a son.
We were actually at the national championships in 2022 for saber fencing. He and I went out for ice cream that night. When he swallowed a bite of ice cream, he said he felt a clicking feeling in his neck. It seemed like his lymph nodes were a little bit swollen. He went to the pediatrician. They tested him for strep and mono and other viruses. Everything came back normal. His lymph nodes behind his ears, in his neck,
and under his chin
had now become swollen. And so the next morning, I just took him to the emergency room at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. I remember an emergency room doctor coming in. She said that there looked to be an oncological issue. And Ben was sitting there when she said that. And I turned to him and I said, "Do you know what that word means, Ben?" And he said, "Yeah, she's saying I have cancer." We had just finished hearing from the doctors, "Your son has cancer, and the cancer is leukemia, and it has spread to 70% of his bone marrow."
He had no symptoms of anything. He didn't feel bad. He had been playing golf over at Bobby Jones, 9 holes each day, just walking the course, feeling fine. I remember the doctor showing us the results of the MRI and the size of the mass. It was like a Nerf football. It's just like, how does this size thing get inside our boy?
They talked about the very high likelihood of blood transfusions and platelet transfusions, that he would lose his hair and experience some peripheral neuropathy, which is nerve damage. It could be anything from numbness in the fingers to an inability to walk. You have an athletic kid who has worked very hard all of his life, that he might have trouble even walking. But what he definitely understood was go through this very arduous journey or not survive. And for a 14-year-old kid, that's a really tough choice. The first month we spent in the hospital because the treatment is so intense. There are a lot of different side effects and issues that can occur. They later found tumors throughout his organs and in his stomach, and actually growing up into his throat as well. It was tough explaining to our younger son that his brother had cancer. He said, "What did Ben do wrong to get cancer?" And I said, "He didn't do anything wrong." And Hudson said, "So God just looks down and picks someone and says, 'It's you.'" And to this day, I have a hard time not feeling like he really hit the nail on the head. One of the medications just proved very highly toxic to his body. He was in acute kidney distress. His body started to metabolize the drug. It became sort of an open wound all the way from mouth to stomach that blistered and bled. It was truly as if he were burning alive from the inside out. What makes it harder is a lot of these chemo drugs are made for adult bodies. These drugs have killed everything inside them. Part of the treatment involves getting them right to the edge of what their little bodies can handle. And it's scary because at the beginning, you actually don't know where that edge is. It kills the forest instead of just killing that one cancerous tree.
Sometimes, it's the cure is worse than the disease.
It's terrifying to see your child who was so athletic and healthy suddenly being so pale and tired. There are certain really exciting breakthroughs that are just on the horizon, and precision medicine is one of them, and immunotherapy is another.
And when we asked for that for Ben, they're like, no, that's not for kids.
That data and that science is first developed for adult patients, and only then can the studies begin on pediatric patients. There are children right now, they need that data and they need that treatment. They can't wait. I feel like it was within hours of Ben being diagnosed that we heard about Cure. For us, it was in the form of a care package. But in that tote bag was a white binder. It said the word Cure in big letters on the front. At the time, I didn't know what treatable meant. That word, in my mind, had a lot of possible meanings. And I saw that word cure, and I know what that means. As a parent who's just gotten this news that your child has a life-threatening illness, that word cure takes on a huge meaning. That's what I wanted for my son. And later, we started reading about the incredible research that Cure funds. And what Cure does is their focus is entirely on pediatric patients. You've got, only 4% of federal funding going toward pediatric cancer research. And we simply don't have the data to make this available to pediatric patients. It's very easy to want to look away. This is a solvable problem. There are brilliant doctors and researchers who can do this, but they can't do it without funding. I would encourage anyone to think about is how very close we are to solving this problem. And we've got to do better for those kids.